All right, we are live in action, everybody. This is Regan Adams with All Things Regan. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So, give me a minute. I'm going to share to the different platforms today. I also ask you that you like and share as well. Ladies, I am going to tag everybody in this post. Everybody, please share Kendra. Everybody, please share Kendra. Everybody, please share Kendra. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys on hold for a second. For the replay viewers that are also coming back on, thank you so much for joining me. So just give me a minute. And I just want to welcome you again. All right, ladies. Let me tag everybody. We have some people coming on. So welcome everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Let's see, edit. Kendra, you're not gonna share.
That's not, you listen. I don't have it's too much uncomfortableness for me. Listen, I got nothing but love for you, though, baby.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now I can't tag nobody. Here we go. Here we go, Crystal.
I was gonna say, let me know when I need to share it. Give me 1 second.
Crystal, Ashley, and okay, no Kendra and me. And y'all ready? All right. So everybody, welcome again. This is Regan Adams with All Things Regan, and tonight we are going to kind of have a girl talk, and we're just going to let you listen in. On what's going on tonight. We are going to be speaking openly and honestly about dating. Why did I come up with dating is dead? So I had been married for over 14 years, and what I discovered during that time of marriage is that I did not know how to date. My mother actually prepared me to be a wife just by looking at her, but I never knew the process of dating. And now that I am single, I'm in the midst of all of it. So I'm kind of just learning as I go and listen to my friends and different people that I am coming into contact with about dating. I already know the married part, but we want to talk about dating as well. And so we have some single ladies on here, but we also have a married lady as well who's going to give us the keys to the kingdom when it comes to how to keep a long, loving, and lasting marriage as well. And also the difference between marriage and dating. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves. Just give us your name. You can give us whatever information you want, but we need to know your relationship status just in case we have some men who want to hop in your inboxes a little bit later. So we'll go ahead and start with Megan. Thank you so much for joining me, girls. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Megan. I live in the metro Atlanta area. I am single, very single, and ready to mingle. So, hey.
Come on, mingle.
Teresa?
Hello, my name is Carissa Dickey. I am very single. I live here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Is that all the information you asked for, just so I'm sure?
Whatever you want to tell. We just definitely need to know your relationship status.
Yes, single, and then single, and then I'm single.
Kendra?
So I am Kendra Askew, and I am very married.
Very married.
Very married.
21 years in it, married. 22 and a half in a relationship for 25 years with my best friend. So, yes, married.
All right, Ashley.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley Smith. I live in Knoxville and I am single too. So if you want to get in my inbox, feel free.
Inboxes are welcome.
Last but not least, Crystal.
I'm Crystal and I'm single, very single.
Okay, girl. All right, so I'm going to ask you some series of questions, and you guys just kind of feel free to jump in. Please try not to be long-winded. I want to try to keep this at 30 minutes, but I know that's not going to happen. I'm going to allot an hour. We may have to come back later on in the week and finish this up because I have over 13 to 14 questions here, and I'll probably be adding more to it. So just kind of jump in where you fit in unless I kind of just call on you. So the first question is dating dead? And if so, who or what killed it?
Oh, just a free for all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll say, is dating dead? No, I don't think it's dead. I just think it's dying. I don't think it's dead yet, but I think it's on its way out. And the
Why is it
reason
dying, Carissa?
I think it's dying because a lot of people just don't know what it looks like anymore. You know, we've been desensitized and we've been, I don't want to say dehumanized, but basically dehumanized. I feel like a lot of people haven't had a good visual of what dating is aside from TV. And so I think it's dying. I don't think it's dead yet. And I think it can make a comeback. I think it can be revised, but I think it's on its way out. Yeah.
I don't know if I think that dating is dead. I just think that it's evolving, right? Like at one point, you would never think that you would get on social media and meet people, but that's now the new thing. So, I don't know. I think it's hard to say that it's dying. It's definitely not dead. There are plenty of people that are still dating and getting married, but it just looks a little different.
I agree with both of you guys. I've had this conversation with Crystal before, just about, with the dating apps and on social media, you have access to so many people. And I think that is a good thing, but then it's like a double-edged sword in that you have access to so many people. And so you have all these options, which, some people can't narrow it down to one option. And then they kind of they like the game of dating multiple people versus just one person.
Okay. Kendra? Is dating dead? If so, who or what killed it?
I think that I have to agree a little bit with Carissa. I think that we're living in a time where people are desensitized, and that the moral standard really has made it more difficult. But I think that if you continue to have high standards, then you will eventually get what you want. And I think that really is up to us as women or men to have a standard in order for you to get what you want. And if not, you just fall into being a follower. And who wants to be a follower?
Okay. Crystal, did you have anything to tag on to that?
I don't, but I don't think that dating is dead. I agree more with Ashley and Megan that it's a different way of dating now, and it's not dead. It's not dying either, Carissa.
She made it sound like it was like a slow death.
It's a slow. It's like slowly dying.
And to answer the question, I don't think it's dead either. And I'm just actually getting out here, but I am having an interesting yet fun time with dating, with a ton of stories that I could probably write a book about already. And I've only been out here a few months. So, all right. So I want to kind of talk about Megan, you sent this article to me today, and I read it. Well, did you send this to me? Anyway, this is the article. Yeah, you did send it to me today, but this is the article that I posted, and we've been talking about in the group with high caliber women attracting and toxic men. And when I read it, I was floored because I was like, I see myself in this article from top to bottom. And so I believe everybody on here is a high caliber woman. So what do you think about attracting toxic men? Do you believe that is so? And if so, why? If you have any personal experience with it, or maybe if you don't want to talk about personally, but if you agree or disagree.
So I didn't get to read the article. I was busy working today. I know I usually don't work on Mondays, but I didn't get to read the article. So can somebody give a little background as to what it was saying? I mean, of course, it said we attract toxic men, but did they say why or what makes a man toxic, or like does it go into depth? Any I don't know the background to the article.
It was a great article, fascinating article, actually. I have it right here. Pretty much it just talked about how, men, they specifically said people who are narcissists target these women because they know that they're going to be taken care of. They know that they are going to they're going to work hard. So they're hard workers. You're going to be ambitious to work for your career. So you're going to be ambitious in this relationship. You're not going to let it go real quickly. And then it talked about, hold on, sorry, I'm trying to bring it up. It talked about you add all that in with, intimacy, and then you're hooked. And so you have these women that continue to stay in these relationships. Is kind of what it was talking about.
So because we're hard workers, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But because we're hard workers and go getters or whatever, I guess we're basically what they're saying, that we are achievers or goal reachers. So, okay, the ultimate goal is to have a relationship with this man. So I'm gonna do everything I can do to make sure that this. Okay, got it. Mm-hmm. I can definitely see that.
I can definitely speak to that, and I can say that was the reason I got married. And I'm going to be very transparent on some of these things because I've already talked about them. But when my husband, ex-husband, I got to get used to saying ex-husband, is 10 years older than me. So when I met him, it was already a thing like, wow, he's, into me, and he thinks that I'm mature because I'm only child, and so I was very mature for my age. And like I said, my mom showed me a lot of ways to be a wife. So I was kind of running circles around a lot of women he was already dating. So in my mind, I thought, and I'm a competitive person by nature. So I knew he was dating other women. So what I said was, I'm going to win. And I'm going to do anything. Like, listen, yeah, I was hanging off chandeliers. I was cooking dinner, breakfast, lunch, snack. I was sewing pillow covers. Like, y'all, it was a lot because my mom was a homemaker, all that good stuff. So I had a lot of old school raising. So he wasn't used to really seeing that in a woman. But I knew as long as I'm not assertive, make sure I fell back. But then he knew, like, there ain't nobody can do it like Regan. And I won. But did I win, really? So, so I definitely understood where the whole article came from. Anybody want to tag on to that?
I think. Go ahead. Sorry. I was going to say, I think too, like if you have someone who is very ambitious, like career-wise, financially, whatever, those people are box checkers. And so when you get to a certain age, especially if you desire to have a partner or to be married, once you get 35, 40, whatever, you want to check that box. And so like Kendra was saying, many people have kind of lowered their standards to be able to check that box or settle to check that box.
No, I do agree with that. I know there are times where I've dated and I may have been talking to a guy that I knew, like, I would never bring him around my brother. I would never bring him around my dad, but it was like, oh, well, it's somebody, like we're going out, whatever. And I think kind of what Megan has said and what I've had to learn as, you grow, you mature, you become more confident, is just not to settle and to know what you bring to the table and be okay walking away from someone who you feel maybe isn't worth your time or attention, because ultimately it just leads to wasting time,
passing time,
working towards or getting readily for the person that God may have for me. And so I've now gotten to a space where I think sometimes being a successful woman and wanting to be loved, wanting to have it all, sometimes in the past, I feel like I put myself in a position where I gave off this energy that made me kind of an easy target. Whereas now I can hold my head up and easily a guy can get in my inbox and I can easily unmatch him from Tinder and keep it moving.
Yeah.
I feel like that's basically what I was going to say. Once you start maturing and get a little bit older, you understand that although I feel like, okay, let me start over. So going back to what Regan was saying, and basically what this article is saying is that we as ambitious women, we give our all in everything we do, basically, including a relationship. So I don't feel like that's a bad thing, but I think what we have to realize, basically what Ashley is saying, is who to give that energy to. Now, what I need you to know is that if I'm with you, I'm going to be with you. We're going to ride. I'm going to give my all in it. But I'm not going to give my all to everybody. And that's one thing that I had to learn. As soon as I started dating somebody, I instantly turned into the, I want to make the best of this. So I'm going to do everything that I can. And you know what I mean? And it's not even necessarily that I might not even like this person that much. You know what I'm saying? I might not even like you that much. But this is my personality. This is what I like to do. I love giving gifts. I love, you know what I'm saying? I'm a snuggler, cuddler. Like, and to him, he might be like, oh, Lord, she is another man. To me, I'm just like, ooh, I'm snuggling. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to be careful who you give that energy to. And I think as you mature and grow, you realize, baby, you did not deserve none of that.
Man, can I
Right?
have my
That's meant
time
to
back?
be for you. Okay?
Right,
That's not even yours. I'm gonna need that back. No, I'm just playing.
right.
Once it's already given, I mean, you done gave it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
Anyone else want to tag on to that? Nope. On to the next question. Describe how we should be dating as women right now.
Hmm.
What does that look like?
This is one of the things that I want to talk about a little bit. I think that that with dating, people are forgetting the reason behind it. And I think that you should date with a purpose. And I think that so many times you will be lonely, or you'll be bored, or you'll meet somebody and they're just okay. And you're like, but I want somebody to go to eat with. And I think that if you date with a purpose, and your purpose is to find your forever, your married, your partner, your husband or your wife, then you will no longer do it as just like an extracurricular activity. And so my thing is that if people say, I'm going to start dating, and then they say they're going to date with a purpose, then you won't have a situation like Ashley where you like, I'm not going to let him meet my mom, my dad, or my brother, but I'm going to date him. That's not dating. And so if you date with a purpose, then you will find your person, because otherwise you're going to be wasting your time with someone that is not worthy of it at all.
Now I agree with that, because essentially I want to get married again, but because I was married for so long and I haven't dated in a long time, it's like I want to be married, but I need to know what I like again, or even what I like. Because when I dated my husband, I was 19. I'm 42 now. So who I was at 19 is not who I am now. So I need to know, like, for example, there's like I was just talking about this. There's a lot of thin guys and muscular guys who are like attracted to me, and I like heavy, big dudes. But now, I have, can I say that?
Say it right.
The thin people, it's like, okay, well, that's not so bad. But I'm like, I don't know.
But that's different because that's a physical appearance. I feel like that's different. That's different from, oh my gosh, she smoked crack. Like, those kind of compromises we cannot make. But as far as him being skinny opposed to him being thicker, that's appearance
even with
wise.
personality, like I know, like some of the basic things, like I know I want them to have a sense of humor. I love to laugh. Those basic things. But then there's some things like I have to. Is this something I can live with? Is this something that I like? Because some things traits they're going to have. Is it something I can put up with? Like I got to date around to figure that out. But I do know I don't want anybody that was like my ex-husband. So I need some time. So how long, Kendra, should I date? Because I want to date with a purpose.
I don't feel like you should put a time limit on it. You date until you find a person you feel like you want to be your husband.
And I think too, you should have fun with it. Something that I've learned, I feel like in the past, when I was like in my 20s, would date and there would just be so much pressure, like, oh my goodness, is he gonna be the one? Or, and now I've learned, okay, let somebody take you out and get a nice meal tonight, and then tomorrow let somebody else take you out. Like, just have fun with it, take the pressure off. And I think when you find that person that kind of gets your interest, where you feel like, okay, maybe something could develop with them, I think you'll know it. But I think a lot of times we as women, we overthink it, and we just want to put all these labels on something. And it's like, girl, he said you look nice and he took you to get a meal. Okay. Like, it's not that
he didn't say, I want to marry you and be the stepfather of your children.
Right. I could not agree with Ashley more. I actually had a friend, and her little sister started dating like online. And I told her the number one thing I can give you as far as advice is do not put pressure on this. Have fun, because what happens is you have these high expectations and then you're disappointed. And
every time.
Yes, have your standards. Obviously, you don't want to date any and everybody, especially if you are dating with a purpose, which many of us are. But when you start putting pressure on things, you don't enjoy.
Oh, you muted.
Oh, But that whole time was on mute the whole time?
No. This
This
was
is the very last part.
I will be saying when you put pressure on, very heavy pressure on, you're not going to enjoy the dating process at all.
Right.
You're going to be anxious. You're going to be disappointed. So I could not agree with you more, Ashley.
I will say this. I feel like it's also knowing when to stop. So, like, if you're dating a person and y'all having fun and everything is all cool, but it's not really going anywhere, and then you're not having fun anymore, I think it's okay to be like, okay, let's not do this anymore. Like, everything's run. Like, there's nothing else I can gain from this. I know we're not going to be together, and this is not fun anymore for me. So let's just stop. Because then if not, you end up resenting this person, or you might be in a relationship that you know is not going to work. Like, you might just go like the next step. We've been talking for so long, let's just jump into a relationship. And then now you're in this relationship that you don't even want. So I think that a lot of people feel like, oh, I've been talking to this person for 3 to 5 months, we should go ahead and be together. No, like, are you still having fun? Do you still really even like him? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So I think a good thing to know is you can't put like a time limit on it, but you have to know the signs of, okay, this is not working, or okay, I'm bored now, I don't want to do this anymore, or whatever the case might be, especially if you're just dating.
Okay, so
I mean, that's a
What,
place,
Crystal?
a placeholder.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
a placeholder?
Placeholder. Talk about
You feel like that's a placeholder?
That's a placeholder.
I feel like if I'm dating somebody and we're kicking it and it's fun, while it's like, just ride the wave until it's not fun anymore. I feel like.
No, but what I'm saying is if they say, okay, let's be together, they really don't want to be
Oh,
together.
yeah. No, that's the placeholder. Got what you're saying. Got it.
Now, what about ghosting and blocking?
yes, thank you. That's what I was going to ask. So, like, when Katie says, when you're not having fun, just cut it off and stop. Do you
I
all
like to have the conversation.
see, for me, I think it depends on the person. Some people
Right.
just unmatch you, move on. Some people, if I've given you my number, I just won't respond. I may even block you. And then depending on how long we had whatever we had going on, then I may give you a conversation.
That's me, Ashley. I will block somebody in 2.3 seconds.
She has a name. We call her what? Crystal, what's her name? Blackiana. Blackiana. Because she will block you in a heartbeat.
I just don't have time. Like, if you're not,
But you
and
ain't
I
got
don't
to
want
block
you to
them.
quit. Huh?
You don't have to block him. It's not like y'all was in a committed relationship or something, or like he
Now,
knows
let me
you
give
live.
you
Or
an example. Yes, I did. And this one I can give an example. So there's this little fella from another country. And he said, give me your phone number. So I'm like, okay, bet. He was nice looking, you know. Okay. So he was like, let me call you through WhatsApp. And so he did. And I talked to him for a little bit and the vibe was just off. And so I was like, well, let me holler at you another time. And then I just blocked. He was like, okay. And I just blocked.
Regan.
And I blocked him. But check this out. He called me from another phone number on WhatsApp. So yeah, you do have to block them.
it don't work. So what's the point? If they want to talk, if they want to talk to you, they go.
Now I just blocked that other number on WhatsApp, and I blocked him from my cell phone number. Like that, and he kept calling. Like when I went back to check my WhatsApp, because I go through WhatsApp with my church, it was like he had called like 10 times from the other number, and I was like, "Who? Crazy."
No, I will say this. On the flip side of that, like if I've reached out to a guy and let's say he's now ghosting me or taking, whatever to respond. Now I'm guilty of being like the other guy, and I'll call from a different phone and just kind of see like, okay, what's up? Why is he not answering? And I may even pretend to be somebody else, but I just
my Lord, Jesus!
You can dish it. What happened?
Exactly, because here's the deal. That's one thing I am big on, like karma. So if I feel like I would want to have a conversation about this, I'm going to have a conversation with you. And it depends. If you've been dating this person, y'all been going out and he's been buying you food or whatever the case may be, I feel like he deserves at least, you know what, I really enjoyed my time with you, but I think we'll be better off as friends.
That's if we going out. But if it's the first conversation and it ain't clicking, what are we?
Okay, I don't
That's
owe you
what we want.
anything. I don't even owe you an explanation at that point. It's levels to this. But I'm not gonna block you though.
I don't think I've
What
ever.
what keep the line open for what? He in the way. And here's the thing: when you start dating different people and talking, for me, I can't speak about anybody else, but I get everybody's name mixed up. I have a hard time with just regular people's names. So if I'm adding 10 other dudes, I gotta knock some of these people off. Like my phone looks like okay, Alex this, Timmy this. Like I gotta remember who's who. So I have to block you so you don't call because then I don't want to be like, well, who is this? So you have to.
Girl,
Everybody ain't
what you have going on? Copy and paste messages, just change the name.
Right. I don't have that issue.
Clearly,
and not necessarily saying I
am a rookie to this. Not copy and paste the messages. You sounding like an NIGGA.
Yo, look at Kendra. Kendra's like, oh God.
Can we get the married person?
Like,
I'm so lost that I'm laying on this right here.
Oh Jesus!
I'm on this right here.
There was another question I had to kind of lead into blocking. I think it'll come back to me. I should have wrote it down. Okay, let's talk about reaching out to men first. How can I tell this? I'll just say this. My dating coach said that a lot of men complain about women not being consistent like men. So men are expected to reach out to us first, expected to say good morning, and we don't call like we should. So what is your take on reaching out first? Maybe once you guys start talking or he's made the initial contact. What do you think about that?
I'll say something, even though this is what I think. I think that if you're dating with a purpose, and I think that there's a certain amount of vulnerableness that you have to have, and I think that a lot of times we as women, or just maybe everybody, men too, that they don't want to do it because they don't want to put themselves in a position to be rejected. But
Right.
if you're really dating for a purpose and you really want to find love and you want to find your person, you're going to lay it on the table. And you're
Right.
I'm going to say good morning. I'm going to say, hey, bring back some coffee by your job. I'm doing all of that because I'm going to lay it on the table. Now, if you dating 50 people, you ain't gonna be able to do that because you're gonna be spending $1,000 a month at Starbucks. But if you're dating, if you got a couple people that you're really serious about that you like, then you're going to have to get vulnerable to figure out so that you can have conversations to progress your relationship, or you will never get there. It's like jump roping. You've got to jump in to be a successful jump roper. If you just keep, okay, I'm gonna jump in, then you're just never gonna be able to learn how to jump rope. You got to jump in, and if you're not ready to do that, you're really not ready to fall in love, and that's the bottom line. That's my opinion, of course.
That's good, Kendra.
That is good.
That is good. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody else want to? Okay. Anybody else want to tag into that?
Kendra kind of dropped the mic on it.
Kendra?
Pretty much.
Okay, so we're done. Okay. Because I was like, what? I got lost. Sorry. Okay. So why are people scared to date online? Women specifically. Why are women scared?
Lifetime own. ID channel. Lifetime.
My mama says ID channel or Lifetime or whatever. But it could be ID and Lifetime channel if you meet them at the grocery store.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you meet them. I mean, if you don't know them, you don't know them. So
right.
Kind of like online, at least you can probably like ask more questions than you would be able to ask like if you met him like at the grocery store or somewhere like a restaurant or something like that. So.
But the thing about meeting a person in person locally at a grocery store, I can be like, hey, Crystal, you know him? Did you go to school with him? You know what I mean? Now, you can Google, if you meet him online, you can Google him, but is that going to really show you everything you really want to know?
Yeah. You can still ask around. I ask around about people all the time. All you need is if they have like their name, maybe their location. Even once you put them in and you start to figure out like, okay, like if it tells you their age, you can figure out who you're dealing with. And people, I think people show me For instance, I had a friend and a guy reached out to her and she came to me because she saw that he went to the same school that I did and was like, hey, do you know this person? And I said, no, I don't know. But let me talk to somebody who played football the same time he claims he played. And then we started asking around and we figured it out. You can always figure it out online, at the mall, whatever. There are levels.
Esther's gonna figure it out, so don't come to her with no lies, FYI, whoever's watching.
My
Okay?
friend
And I
told
think
me
that might be.
gadget.
I don't think you need to be scared though, because I mean, like your husband could be online and you don't know,
That's
Right.
true.
especially
That's true.
with like how it is now. I mean, a lot of people are not going anywhere, so
Right.
it's all online.
I feel like, yeah, Chris, I feel like 2020 really did open up the door for online dating because everybody was stuck at home, you know? But I think too, just listening to, you know, your intuition and your feeling, because like with you all being in a smaller city, it's much different here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot harder to ask around, do you know this person when you have
That's
5 million
true.
people in the city? But you just have to go with your gut. If something doesn't feel right, don't go out with that person. But I can genuinely say that I've dated several people online or met people online, and I've never had any like scary moment. Thank you, God. But if something doesn't feel right, be like, no, I'm not going to go out with this person, you know?
Right.
But there are people just like us that are looking for partners, love, spouses, you know?
Yeah, I had a conversation with a fellow the other day, and he said he works 6 days a week. Like he does not have time, but you know, if online, once he meets somebody and you know it progresses, then he will make the time. But right now, you know, online is the best thing for him. So yeah, that makes sense. Anybody else want to say anything? What are your pros and cons about online dating for you? Like, are there things you like about it, things you don't like about it?
I think for me, the thing that I don't like about it the most is the long distance. You know, for me, most of the guys that I'm attracted to or who are attracted to me are people that don't live here in Knoxville. And it's hard for me because, as I previously stated, I'm a snuggler. I like to spend time. I work a lot, so I don't have time. I can't be texting you and pressing out hair at the same time. You know what I mean? So I don't have time to be texting back and forth. I'm more of a conversation type of person. I'm more of a let's hang out, let's get to know each other type of person, opposed to a phone type of person. So that's what I do not like about it.
I mean, I agree with you completely on that, Carissa. But the dating pool is, you know, very limited.
It's a lot larger online,
Yeah.
So that's
or like an ocean instead
yeah.
of a backyard $2 swim pool from Walmart.
That's how we end up with people like from another city that, you know, not here. So yeah.
Right.
Well, I know with me, I like to travel. And I know eventually I probably will move from Knoxville. So my dating pool is wide open. So I will go not wherever, but if I'm interested and I want to see you, I'm gonna come and see you. And sometimes I'm like, why do you always have to go to them? Because I don't want to come here. Like if I want to come here, cool, on down the road, but let me go visit. I don't want to tell that part. So anyway, I just like online dating and I like to travel. So it works for me either way. And then I'm going to always incorporate my business things with it. So I'm not going for just to see some guy. I'm going and it's going to be business and I'm still going to be able to have fun with him or if not with him, because again, I've had some horror stories. I'm with my homegirl and we can hang out and have fun and or TT and hi about whatever happened later on. So it's fun for me. I enjoy it for the most part.
Yes, we've had fun.
You're right. Met some knuckleheads along the way, but
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you take the good with the bad. I think one of the cons that I don't like is sometimes honesty, like
It's
or
easy to lie.
right, or just even being misleading. Like if you're saying that you're digging somebody and then all of a sudden you just randomly fall off, I'm like, okay, what is this
Because he
about?
was copy and pasting like Ashley be doing.
Yep. He was like, I got them mixed up.
Right.
So maybe just the honesty, because you know, people ask me, you know, what are you looking for? That's one of the main questions. What are you looking for? And I say, I'm not really looking for anything. You know, I'm dating, I'm having fun. And if I find something and something happens, then I'm open to it. If not, then it just doesn't work. So
But you know something else that I like about online dating is that, let's say like with Tinder, right? And you match with a few people and then they reach out to you. I feel like if a conversation with one person gets dry, okay, you just move on to the next.
Mhm.
And so I think it's nice to kind of vet people without having to, this may sound a little bad, but like put forth that effort of, okay, going on a date with them. If I'm having a conversation with you and after day one or two and it's fallen off, then cool. Like I'll just move on to the next person, and maybe
Right.
that's that I say, okay, I'll actually put forth effort and trying to look cute, put on makeup and all that to go and actually engage with this person. So I think it's kind of like if it doesn't work out with one person, fine, you just move on to the other. And for me, it just takes out like the emotional stage of, oh my goodness, why? What happened? Why isn't he reaching
Right.
out? Like
Takes
whatever.
away the pressure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kendra, tell me who taught you how to date.
Well, my I was brought up in a very, very spiritual household. And so basically we were taught to date with a purpose from the very beginning. And I'm not gonna say I stepped to it, okay? 'Cause I didn't. But that was where I learned how to date. And so, and I feel like that if you are depending on where you are in your spiritual walk, you should really think of people as people and just, you know what I mean? If like Carissa said something that I liked and appreciated. I'm having a conversation with you.
Mhm.
Tell you, hey, listen, it's not something that I want to do moving forward. I appreciate everything that you've done, but it's not the move for me. And so I think that depending on who they are, now if you're just somebody that you're talking to on Tinder or whatever, then I think it'd be something different. But I don't understand all that right there. Someone that you've dated and you've gone out to bowling, wherever, to the movies or to dinner, you should tell that person. I don't ghosting. I think it's totally immature and disrespectful, just to be
I
honest.
think it's a punk ass move. Like you as a
I would
punk.
have to agree with you 100% because I think that everybody is worth. Because my thing is this: here's if I part ways in any kind of relationship I'm in, I want a conversation about it because I want the best for that person, even if I'm not.
Right. Because I'm not upset with you at all.
This is how you can improve. I sat there and told you that I didn't drink coffee and you wanted to meet at Starbucks. The next time you probably should listen to who you're trying to date. So my thing is whatever it is that puts you in the way that you want, hey, you don't listen. I think that it is warranted. I think that if you're dating and you're really ready to date, then you will start to have these type of your care factor will go up toward people. And I think that really and truly dating is absolutely not dead. The way people care about people and love people and treat people, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something?
That was good, Kendra.
That was real good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Regan,
I wanted to
I am.
I wanted to kind of go on what Kendra said when she was saying that I want to let you know that this is why or this is this. So dating is basically collecting data. So if I don't know what turned you off about me or what you don't know what turned me off about you, then how am I going to be able to? If it's something that is like changeable for me, then I can fix that. You know what I mean? But if that's just who I am, then I'm just not for you. Or if that's just who you are, you're just not for me. But if I can have a conversation with you and be like, I told you, like she said, I didn't like coffee and you took me to the coffee spot. It can be like, well, okay, well, I won't ever take you to the coffee spot again. Maybe we could do this, this, and this. Or it can be like, well, I love coffee and I'm always take you to the coffee spot. So you know what I mean? So if you have that conversation, especially if it's somebody that you really like, they really like you, they might be willing to change a couple of things that kind of turned you off. But if you never have that conversation with that person, then it's just that person's gone. Like, you know what I mean? You missed out on that opportunity. That's why I think it's important to communicate. But you guys know that I like to talk and I overshare. So you're going to know exactly how I feel, but in a nice way. Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else want to say anything? Okay. What should your first date look like? What should you be talking about? What's going on the first date?
No to movies. That's a absolutely no, because you cannot talk. We are not
And
in
it's
high
dark.
school. And it's dark, right? I have
I'm
been
trying to
told
see what you
before.
got. You got 2 eyes or what?
I have been told before. I feel like I'm on a job interview. I'm like, good. So, like when you said, Teresa, that this is you're collecting data. I am one of those people who are dating with a purpose. I have been single for a long time. I have standards. And so I want it to be enjoyable, but I do want to get to know you because in my mind, I'm kind of like, we ain't having
right.
So yeah, I want to have fun. I want to get to know you, but I will be asking questions. So any date that you can have good conversation, I think is good for me.
So I will say this: I've heard, I've learned, especially been in a dating is dead group, that the interview style the guys really don't feel. So if there's not something that I can gain this data from just having casual conversation with you, if we're not just conversing and some of this stuff comes up, then I don't want to be like, well, do you have a college degree? Well, did you go to, you know what I mean? Because I can run it down. I can. But like if you can create the type of vibe where you can communicate that to asking questions, or what I like to do is I'll share something about myself that's kind of pertaining to the information that I want to know. And if the person is willing to open up and share that information back with me, then therefore it's a conversation piece. I'm asking this question without asking you. You don't feel like you're on an interview. Because at the same time, if you come at me, ask me all these questions, I'm be like,
you work for the police?
Are you you write my checks or not? Because last time I checked,
I'm gonna think the police.
I was.
Right. Right. I had somebody today asking me a bunch, what time you get off? And well, I was like, hold up, this is the first conversation. What the fuck is this? Block.
I think you should work.
Right.
Dang, right?
But you know what? I don't like a lot of questions anyway. I'm not being
and see,
I just don't like a lot of questions in general. So don't come to me asking me a bunch of stuff like.
But here's the thing on that.
It shows that you're interested. That's me though. Like I like people who are asking me questions, not drilling me, not interrogating me.
Mm-hmm.
So I joked about the interview thing, but I have heard that before too. Men who are confident and have good communication styles can go back and forth easily. So
that is true.
You can ask them like casually in the conversation and not sound like they on a
right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about delivery. It's all about your delivery and your approach. No one wants to feel like on a date someone has a piece of paper and they're just running down asking them questions. But I think you can have conversation in a way in which, I mean, let's be real. We know how to talk to people and find out the answers that we want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is absolutely true.
Should women date multiple men?
I think, yeah. But see, this is where the problem comes in is that people have so many different perspectives on dating. What is dating? So is dating us talking on the phone, texting, going out to eat, hanging out, or are we smashing, or what is dating?
You know what? I feel like for all men, I don't care if you're talking or not. Like, just say you're talking on the phone on a regular, maybe 2-3 weeks. If they find out that you are talking to other men, like you're talking to them maybe, or have gone out, they may cut you off.
And they feel some type of way.
They don't like us dating. And I actually had a conversation with one of my male friends the other night, and he said, this women dating multiple men is new to men, and they don't like it. They don't like it.
It's like courting. How is it? It's like courting.
And nobody's
that's only if you're courting. Now, he might feel some type of way because you smashing, telling me how much you love me, you cooking for me, cleaning for me. Is that dating? No, you're in a relationship now. That's a relationship.
That's a relationship.
That's not dating. Yeah. So if you have a clear understanding of what dating is, I think that's something that needs to be communicated. So not necessarily on the first day, but if it's time for a second or a third day, okay. So I'm not trying to put no limitations or no title on what we got going on, but I just want to let you know at this point, I am dating which means I am dating multiple people. And what that looks like for me is so, and so, and so. How do you feel about that?
They don't like
dating for you. But most men, the problem is most men cannot accept a person being that forward with them. Number one. Number two, they punk behinds ain't open enough to be that forward with you because they don't know what you
Correct,
want.
Alex, for 300.
They want you to be like, and I don't think you should. I mean, I don't think like you said, it depends on how you're dating them. I mean, you can't be out here having sex with everybody, going out with everybody, just doing everything with everybody. But you can't put everything into that one guy until you know that you should be dating for with the purpose, like Kendra said. But I can't be like, we went on one date, okay, I'm just gonna just keep dating you. I mean, I gotta know. Get to the point where this is the person I want to be with. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I don't want to date anybody else.
Right.
This is who I want to date, and he wants to date me. And now we're gonna, decide to be in a relationship. But
right.
men cannot handle it because the first thing they think of is you are smashing all the people you are.
Right.
Right.
Because they're like, these men ain't talking to you, and they ain't getting nothing.
Just because you smashing right. talking to don't mean I'm smashing everybody I'm talking to.
And I think that's why they get into their feelings. But you can't put everything. If you put everything into one guy so soon, and then even what Ashley was saying, how you're vetting people, then you have maybe lost a potential person that you let go to talk to this guy that wasn't even on the same page as you.
Right.
That's my thinking of it.
This is what I was thinking, though. I think that goes back to being vulnerable. If you are going to go all the way in, they need to know it. You got to put it. Okay, listen, I am liking you. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't know if that's how you feel about me. That's how I feel about you. And then you need to be quiet. And then the first person that talks after that, they're losing.
I've had that conversation with a person before. I was in a situationship with someone, and I was really feeling that person, and that person was really feeling me too, but the time just wasn't right. And so I would communicate. I know your actions speak louder than your words. And most of the time when you say your actions speak louder than your words, it's usually somebody treating you like they're telling you, oh, baby, I love you. I want to be with you and all this stuff. But they out here doing whatever the case is. But this was the complete opposite. It was, I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm not trying to be romantic. But at the same time, this person is doing all the things that a husband would do. You know what I mean? So for me, it was cool with me at first because I'm like, okay, clearly he has feelings for me. He's going to come around, whatever the case may be. So it was cool with me. So I'm communicating, okay, well, for now, I'm cool with the way this is going. You're not ready to verbalize it. You're not ready to admit the feelings that you're having. Okay, cool. So I let it go on for a while only to realize that he was right. Like he was not ready to be in a relationship. And as I previously stated, this is just how he is. This is the person that he is. So yeah, he's doing all these things for me, but that's because that's the type of person that he is. He would do that for pretty much anybody. And so for me, I was mistaken that as his actions and his words not lining up. But in all reality, he was not ready to be in a relationship with me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that up because that happens a lot actually, where people the men are saying, I'm not committing to you. I'm not ready for a relationship, but their actions say the exact opposite. So I've had conversations with my other friends about, well, listen to what he says. You know what I'm saying? Even though actions speak louder than words, if he's telling you from Jump Street, I'm not committing to you. And I'm like, okay. And I started pedaling back. So even though I was vulnerable at first, I can't put myself in a position when you have verbally told me I'm not committing and I'm looking for a purpose partner,
Right.
So it's kind of sticky, but it happens so frequently.
It's definitely a learning experience because we as women, first of all, and then this kind of goes back into that article, we're like, oh girl, we can change his mind. He said this, he said that, he be doing this, he be doing that. But baby, when he get with me,
right.
this is where it stops. And
right.
No, sis, that's not true. That's why you're out here looking a fool. And yeah, and then we don't want to let it go because we like, oh, this gonna work. Oh, this gonna work. But no, sis, it
never works. It never works.
Gotta let it go. Yeah.
Carissa, you kind of touched on, you were saying this, I think you posted about this the other day, about what people talk about on their Facebook page or social media page when you have a business. But I want to go from a different aspect of what you talk about and how you look on your personal page when others are looking. So what I have come to notice, as soon as I announced my divorce, my inbox was looking real stupid. And what I found out is there were different men watching. And so another thing that I found was that men look at your social media and they are immediately turned on or turned off by what you say and what you look like. And I don't think some women grasp that. Like maybe they don't, it may be even somebody you don't know, because I've gotten inboxes from people I don't know who, that people you may know is something serious right now. We don't know who these men are, or, that are on your page. So you have to be very mindful of what you look like. So can you guys talk about the importance of your pictures, what you look like, and what you say on your social media pertaining to being single and dating?
I think that women should not post like a bunch of, like, how sometimes people are bashing men, like with these memes, with these posts, like saying pretty much men ain't nothing, but then you're like, where's my man at? I was
Girl,
married.
he saw that you hate men already,
you
and
just
he was
Right.
like, "I'm out of here."
you are running down through there. And I
Mhm.
this guy, which I hate every time he tells me something, it sounds logical, but it was. But he was like, you got to watch what you're saying and who might be watching it, like what Regan said, because just because you think it's not anybody in there that you would be interested in, it might be somebody reading it that you don't even know.
Right.
So I had to be mindful of some things I was saying. This is some years back. And I think like your picture should be inviting, but not like sexually inviting, but inviting, like she looks like somebody I'd want to get to know, somebody I'd want to inbox. She looks like I might would have a good time with her. Something like that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I've been told that my page is intimidating, but if you meet me, I am not intimidating, first of all. But I've heard that my page is, because I asked some of my homeboys, I'm like, y'all be swearing that my homeboys like, I know your inbox be blowing up. It actually is not. It be blowing up with people asking me stuff to get on the gosh darn internet and see, because all them links I didn't pay for. That's what it be blown up with. But it don't be blown up with no guys. No. And I've been told that maybe that my page can be a little bit intimidating, because I do post a lot of business stuff on my personal page, but that's where I built my business. So I mean, I don't know how to fix that. What would your suggestion be? Anybody?
I have the same problem, kind of, sort of. So can't help you there, sis.
So what are you supposed to do? Post stuff for your business? Like, if you're a boss chick, then you a boss chick, and he got to be okay with that.
So you got to dumb yourself down? No.
And that's one thing I cannot do.
No, you shouldn't have
Never. Ever.
Ashley, what do you think? You've been quiet, sis.
Nobody.
So what do I think about like my page?
Or your page or anybody's page? Do you think it's important for you to watch what you say and how you look on your profile pictures? Because some women, you look at them, they look like some of them hadn't taken baths in days.
And then you see them in person, and they be really cute. You be like,
yeah,
they're cute. Who knew?
right. Or like you about to fight, any little one word you say, it's like, I'm about to hit you. Somebody said that about one of my profile pictures. Like, girl, I'm so glad you took that picture down, because you look like you was going to fight somebody. So Ashley, what do you think is important? Like, now, side note, Ashley's pictures on,
I was trying not to say that. I was trying not to say that.
Marsh,
Ma'am.
I know that inbox looks stupid, real stupid.
And it's so crazy that you all say that, because no, I haven't, even since I started doing the pictures that I've been doing, I haven't gotten any guys in my inbox, and that's cool. Like, that's not why I'm doing it. But I definitely think it's important to be mindful the things you say on your social media. And I think it goes even beyond dating. I think, for one, you never know who's looking at your profile, whose attention you may catch. But then two, I feel like you should always just want to put your best self out there, right, and kind of show your different personalities, whether it's, I think all of us are successful women, and so we have a business side, but I think it's fine to show that you like to have fun as well, and that you're not just this square. I think at one point someone was like, man, I just feel like you're always so serious, So I've kind of learned, even with just doing the photos, to show, hey, there are different sides of me. But I mean, definitely, because I feel that when I'm, maybe when I'm looking on the pages of different men, I mean, I'm looking, for me, pictures tell you a lot about a person, because I always feel that if there's a picture and I look bummy, I'm not going to put that on my social media, because that's a poor representation of me as a person, not even as a single woman. So I think that, yeah, I think your pictures are very important. I think that people put more stock into your pictures and your posts than women and men realize. So yeah, I mean, it's very important for sure.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think it is important. Well, all of y'all know this about me, and if you follow me, you know this about me. I think it's important for you to show all sides, because here's the thing: when I am doing something in a professional sense, or um, I'm going to put my best face for it. But if you see me out here in the streets, ma'am, no. So on my Facebook, I try to show all sides of that. I try to be as KD or Carissa as I can possibly be, because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm misleading you. I don't want you to come in my shop and see me looking like this. And then you see me looking like this on Facebook, but then when you come in my shop, I cover it in color, and you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want to set any type of expectations for you to be like, well, dang, like she portraying to be this one person when really she is this. So for me, I think it's cool. Y'all didn't see me on there with my hair nappy halfway done. You didn't see me on there with my clothes bleached and colored. You didn't see my kids, me hollering at my kids. Like, I feel like it's important for people to see who you really are, because you don't want to be intangible. You don't want people to look at you in this business, and this is relationship wise. You don't want people to look at you as not relatable, like not a person. Like, you don't want to give off this phony, everything is oh so perfect all the time, because truth is it's not. And I'm not always happy. I mean, most of the time. But sometimes I have bad days. And I think that if y'all only see me when I'm happy, when I'm having a bad day, then you're gonna be like, well, what's wrong? Like, I always get that. Well, what's wrong? Why are you okay? And I'm not like about to go jump off a bridge. I'm just chilling right now. So I think it's important for people to see all different sides of you. So when they do come in contact with you personally and in real life and live in color, and you might have one of those other things than what people actually know you for, then it won't be so unfamiliar. It won't seem like you being fake. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody else want to tag on to that? I have 2 more questions and we're done. I know you guys are happy, but this has been really good, and I thank you for your time. I just want to say that. I had a conversation with a little fella, and my coach tells me to quit calling him little fella, with a guy.
That sounds real old fashioned, Reagan. Like, when you say that, I'm like, ugh, like.
He said that men don't like to be called little. So, and I can't remember anybody's name. So, honey, I just call him little fella.
Just like this guy. A guy.
Yeah, this
Right.
guy.
Or give them a nickname.
No, we can't do that. Okay. Can't do the nicknames. So anyway, I asked him, I said, what is like one of the main things that you don't like about women? And he said, hygiene. A lot of the women's hair smells and their clothes smell like their house. Or maybe their house may stink, and so it goes onto their clothes. And I'm like, what kind of women you been dealing with? He said, but it has been it's been on more than one occasion. But listen, I've heard, not even just from him, but I've heard this from several men, like vaginal hygiene, clothes hygiene, like their women are not taking care of themselves. Can anybody speak to that on this panel?
I am clean.
I can relate. I'm clean.
And I'm really sensitive when it comes to smells. So let's say that if there is a person and they have bad breath, or maybe their cologne smells poorly, that to me is a total turnoff. Like, I can see it in a room and you can be so attractive, but then when I come close enough to you, and like I said, whether it's bad breath or, body odor, that's just that's a major turn off. And I just think, even as a woman, like, you should just want to
smell good.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put your best self out there. So that means, yeah, clean up your home. Like, it's probably not always going to be clean, but you want it to at least be fresh. You want to make sure that your private area, like your girl, like you're taking care of all of that. And I think, when you smell good, when you look good, you just feel so much better. So I think that's trifling, honestly, that women are like, I just don't think there's an excuse for it at all, even beyond dating, just in general.
I personally am not a big fragrance person because I will sneeze and all that stuff. But my friends are like Reagan is definitely big on Bath and Body Works and all that stuff. You won't find all of that in my house. I'm not big on fragrances and all that stuff, but I am very clean. And if I'm going somewhere, I will put on something that smells good. But I'm not big into smelling like a flower or like, you know what I'm saying? That's just not my thing personally. But one thing I don't is smell. So you don't even have to, as long as you are cleaning yourself, ma'am, you really don't have to put on all these smell goods in order to smell clean or not have like a neutral smell. To me is okay. As long as there's not a stinky smell. You don't have to smell like a blooming, blossoming flower, but let's not have a smell.
I like the blooming, blossoming flower.
Well, see, for me, my skin is sensitive. I get the itch and I start to sneeze and my eyes get to watering. I ain't got time for that. Now, I will put on a little something. We got this stuff at Bedroom Candy that I like. I will put that on, and that's about it for me.
That smells really good, by the way.
Which one? That rollerball?
The rollerball. The rollerball, it blends in with your pheromones. So
it does.
She one time smelled me with the rollerball on and did not like it the last time I put it on. But it might have been my mood because it goes with your mood. But it smells really good to me. It usually smells really sweet on me, just saying, because I'm sweet.
Yeah,
but anyway.
I don't have a problem with it.
Kendra, you've been quiet. Anything you want to tag on to being stinky?
I can't relate, sis.
I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now that I wouldn't even have the conversation because if that's something that you got to have with somebody, they don't even.
You too damn old. I'm not going
to waste my time on that. I'm not going to talk about that. You're an apple on the ground, and we're going to step right on over you because I'm
not an apple on the ground.
An apple on the ground. If you can't do that, please. If you shouldn't be dating if you don't know that, and I can't.
But what if they don't know they smell? What if they don't know?
I don't care if you're leaving the gym. We're not going to have that discussion, and that's where I'm
at. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Listen, I want to talk about just to kind of add on to this. One more question and I'm done. But I remember, and I talk about this all the time, I had a very bad hygiene problem. Like my vagina smelled like garbage truck juice. It was horrible on a hot summer day. It was horrible.
It's just
for years and years. I love it. I'm serious. It was bad.
Take Kendra out.
I'm out.
Listen, it was bad. But what I found was my diet was not good. And I had to have take a probiotic, like I had to drink water, that type of thing. But my gynecologist couldn't figure it out. So when I figured it out and I needed to make sure I stopped douching and doing the proper things.
Right.
And so now when I finally got my pH balanced and I don't stink anymore, I smell really good. Side note, I'm very clean again.
Hallelujah.
I talk about that in my events, but you would be amazed. I had an event in Atlanta maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I had a lot of ladies from Florida for some reason that came to the event. And it's hot in Florida, so y'all already know you better have your hygiene together, correct? And I was talking about the probiotics that I was using and the wash, and it literally was like 5 ladies that came up to me in tears. I've had this problem for X amount of years and I couldn't talk to anybody about it. It's hot in Florida. So I mean, it's something that needs to be talked about, and maybe you do stink, but you don't know what to do. Because, for example, when I went to the gynecologist, they was like, well, put some deodorant between your thighs. Well, that's aluminum. We don't need that down there. You know what I'm saying? I need a good probiotic and some water and watch my food intake and quit eating all this stuff with sugar and yeast. But they didn't tell me that. And
Did not say that, period. Like, my mama was like, ma'am, no. And she taught me at a very young age, we're going to have to remove this hair from here because it holds on to the odor. Okay, ma'am?
I didn't have that.
And I was very active. And actually, it can work backwards because in high school, I was on a dance team, I was on a step team, I was in a band and all that stuff. So from one after school, I would wash up, go to practice. After that practice, I would wash up and go to another practice. And that is a huge no-no. So something was going on. I was like, Mama, something ain't right. So we go to the doctor and she was like, Chrissy, you're washing all of your good bacteria away. So you have to find or educate yourself or honey, somebody, Lord, I would hope by the time that you're over this age, what are we, over 30?
Listen, I just found this out not too long ago, ma'am.
Educated you on your pH balance and the bacteria that are needed in your body to be able to function in a nice smelling way as a woman.
Yeah. Well, we need to talk about it more because there are a lot of women who I still get stuff every day. Thank you so much on the inbox. And these are grown women, like older than me. Seriously.
I need for you to put them pops down and drink you some water.
Yeah.
I need you to get you some honey pot or what is that you use, girl?
Queen V.
That
what, Megan?
Yeah, honey pot.
Yeah.
Honey pot don't work for me.
I love honey pot. I use the sensitive and it's great to have a foam. And I have sanitary napkins as well. And I just love the whole line. It is amazing. And if you're interested, you need to use it. Now you're going to have a little transition area once you switch over from that old soap to the new soap.
Nobody should be putting no soap on their cooch. Nobody.
Some people do.
Well, yeah. Well, this is pH balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Reagan's like, no.
I'm telling you what I used to smell like, and it was garbage. You hear me? Garbage, hot garbage on a Phoenix summer day in July. You hear me?
I'm so glad you handled that before we became friends. Amen.
Girl,
I'm gonna be sitting in my chair like that.
You an apple on the ground.
All your customers.
Right over there.
Okay, last one. I'm happy
to remember that one.
I know. When is it too soon to discuss sex?
I think it should just come up naturally.
I think it should too. And the first conversation is way too soon. And some men do that, and it's a big turnoff.
And I think it's a way to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like if you're, especially as a woman, I'm pretty sure they would judge us if we are the ones who initiate it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, oh, she a thought. What's the difference between being sexually in tuned and being a thought? Just because I'm talking to you about sex don't necessarily mean I'm having sex or that I want to have sex with you. I'm trying to figure out if I do want to have sex. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. So maybe being sexually compatible.
Yeah, you need to do that up front.
What about, okay, and this is kind of side note, pastors, if you're watching, please click off. So I had somebody talking about, well, a woman, well, some women, because there's more than one, they want to see the penis pictures before they continue. Kendra.
My internet is starting to go out. So
oh, okay.
Is that what's happening?
You better not get out for here.
How convenient, Kendra. How convenient.
Yeah, but so like, do you require the penis pictures before you're like, we're gonna go to another level, or we just let's have a surprise?
I don't know. Most of the time, a man will send you a picture. you don't
right? Unsolicited one.
Unsolicited. I'm just gonna go ahead and send this to you so you can see it.
Right.
I have some things to say, and I just want to ask one of my really dear friends, just close her ears. Kendra, if you could just
I'm hanging up on you.
Don't hang up.
No, Kendra, I want to do this
on video.
I think you can appreciate this comment that I'm going to make because this is a little to your mind. So for me, for the last year, I have not had sex. It's been almost a whole year. And the reason being is because I'm tired of, I did not previously require a picture or, or anything like that. But and I'm not saying that I'm going to require that, but first of all, I got mixed feelings. Number one, that ain't his fault. He didn't. He has no control over that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And sometimes, side note, I be wanting to know why God would do them like that.
I
You know
just
what I'm saying?
can't ask him that. It's not his fault.
Teresa, if you require the picture, are you going to send them a picture of?
Teresa does not send her body in photographs.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't require a person to send me a picture, But here lately, I just can't anymore, and I am just trying to keep my body for my husband. And so in the spirit of keeping my body count down, I'm gonna need to know a little something ahead of time so I don't be wasting my time.
I find that most men that don't have anything to,
Welcome back, Kendra.
I've never been sent a pic that wasn't worth sending.
But see, here's the deal, though. I'm also kind of disgusted by those. Like, I am not. This is not a turn on.
I'm not turned on by.
I never want to see one. I'm gonna be honest. Don't send me one
because I am keeping my body to myself, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you. I have a lot of assets, and there's a minimum required to be able to achieve certain things with my body shape. Okay, so therefore,
girl, spit.
I'm trying to be as clean as possible. So I don't want to require it, but I'm thinking it is going to have to be a standard.
If you don't stop.
I need a preview.
She need a picture. You said all of that to say you need a picture.
I'm gonna have to go with a preview because here lately I just
been disappointed.
My point, they're not gonna send it if it's not worth sending.
They're not gonna send it.
They're not gonna send it.
Never mind. We're gonna leave that alone. Okay.
I mean, from my experience, and I don't ask for them.
Nobody, I was gonna say nobody ever says, "Let me see a picture."
I believe so.
You just look up and be like,
"Oh." Some women do.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. They've been showing y'all wee-wees to everybody because they be showing up to their homegirls, especially if it's not somebody that they really care about. Because baby, in the salon, you be passed around. So
the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this.
Showing yourself.
Based on the fact that we have awesome graphic designers and artists and all sorts of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's an absolute and utter waste of time. Because it's just trying fake.
Right. Exactly.
Fake news like Trump.
Or something they've Googled. Just pass it around.
It ain't even yours. That's what you're saying. It ain't even us, huh?
Some girls said that they can from an angle, it can make it look a certain way and all of that. So it's just it's not worth sending it.
What is the point though? Like, I don't know. Because let me tell you something. You can have a nice size and you still don't know what to do with that thing once you get in there.
Girl,
you hear me?
Another topic. Yeah, but yeah, that's very true.
Okay. Well, we're going to get off of here. It's been over an hour. And I thank you ladies for your time. And thank everybody for coming and joining us this evening. We had a really, really good time. And thank you for coming back to the replay viewers. Risa was funny.
That was particular for me because it's a sensitive subject. And
It is. And, I have to be mindful because I do work at my church and so I can't say too much. But anyway, I don't think we had any questions. Did anybody have any questions before we cut out of here? Did anybody have any questions?
Are we doing a part 2?
We need to. Y'all want to do a part 2? No. Yes. Yes, Kendra's going to be moderating it.
Kendra, you're on mute.
Kendra, you on mute.
Turn your mic on.
The last 2 questions cannot even come on the scene. I'm not gonna be here.
Man, is my friend not cooking and y'all didn't make me no plate?
It doesn't look like we have any questions. Okay, so everybody just said they've been commenting a whole lot. Okay, all right. So anyway, we're gonna hop off here. It has been fun. Thank you, ladies, again so much for coming on. For those who have not purchased their tickets for the Trap R&B event, baby, we are almost sold out in less than a week. Well, not less than a week, we're a little bit over a week. We have 15 tickets left. So go ahead and get your tickets if you have not. We are going to be continuing different events after this, so make sure that you are supporting us. That's it, ladies. Thank you again for coming, and guys, thank you for coming back on and joining us. This is Regan Adams with All Things Regan, and Regan says, "I think it, I see it, I do it." Good night, guys.
Good night.